Welcome back. Last week, a small group of volunteers decided to chip in and help by providing medical aid at the ongoing protests in their hometown of Austin, Texas. So here to tell us how the group came together and what they've been experiencing is firefighter and co-founder of Street Medics Austin, Toby Heidel. Thank you so much for being with us, Toby. And I know you co-founded Street Medics Austin just last week. So tell me how the group came together in the first place.
Sure. Street Medics Austin, we provide nonpartisan first aid and support services for peaceful protesters, bystanders, and other people when traditional emergency services can't. We just sort of identified a need last week. We saw some of the stuff that was going on around the country, and there were some protests planned in Austin. And we thought we'd go down and try to help out. And to be clear, we're not an activist organization or a protest organization. It's just with my experience in emergency services, I realized that there are some scenes that aren't safe enough for a variety of reasons, whether it be the crowd size or other reasons that traditional services can't get in and provide care on the ground. So we thought we'd sort of step in and be a resource to do some on-the-ground work there when traditional services can't necessarily get in to help.
Yeah, and I'm curious, Toby, when you first attended the protests, how did you expect to help, and then what kind of aid did you end up providing?
Sure. Well, it's really hot and humid in Texas generally during the summer, and so initially we thought that when we went down there, we'd set up a little aid station and maybe give out some water, maybe bandage up a cut finger or two. But as the day went on, the protest got a little unruly, and we ended up providing a significantly higher level of care down there. We ended up there was tear gas and pepper spray that was deployed, and so we had a lot of mucous membrane irritant injuries, and then also some less lethal munitions were deployed, and so we had a lot of trauma as well that we ended up treating throughout the weekend.
So your services were definitely in need, and you're in the middle of all of this, so you and your group are putting yourselves at risk as well, given those circumstances and those conditions. And I understand some members of your team were injured while helping at the protests.
Yeah, that's a few unfortunate incidents occurred last weekend. It's again a large chaotic environment that we're working in, and unfortunately, while rendering aid, we did have a medic. It was late in the evening on Sunday after our official operations had ceased. Some of the medics stuck around in an independent role, and one of our medics that evening was unfortunately shot with less lethal munitions. She is recovering, but we have some procedures in place with the city now to hopefully be able to identify us and ensure that that they know that we're not necessarily part of the protest, that we're just down there to help. We're only there to help people and provide services and aid and actually take some of that load off of city services.
Now, well, we're glad she is on the mend right now. We certainly are happy to hear that. What's been the biggest surprise for you during this experience?
You know, honestly, the biggest surprise has been the outpouring of interest and donations and just the goodwill that we've engendered with this thing. It's been amazing just over the course of the last week how it's grown from just a couple of us literally setting up a card table, and even just on Saturday and Sunday while we were down there and through deployments or during deployments throughout this week, where medical supplies have shown up. We have combat medics, firefighters, paramedics from local agencies who are volunteering with us, ER nurses, ER doctors. So our staff and volunteers have grown quickly, and we're providing a whole lot of services down there, and that has just been amazing to see people come out of nowhere and just come together to just try to help people. That's all we're about.
And it's so hopeful to see how many want to help. So what are your plans going forward for Street Medics Austin?
Sure. Well, we do have a few planned deployments this weekend. There are a number of actions that are scheduled in Austin this weekend, and we plan to be downtown for the majority of those. And honestly, going forward, our hope is at some point to be able to do what we wanted to do in the first place, and that is just set up a card table, give out some snacks and water. At future events, we do live in the capital of Texas, and so there are a whole lot of peaceful protests and marches and those sorts of events that happen here. And if we can go down in the middle of July and give out some cold wet towels and some nice cold water and a few granola bars, that would be fantastic. That'd be a great weekend for me.
Well, Toby, thank you so much for all that you're doing. We certainly appreciate you.
Sure, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.